Hello, hello. Thank you so much, Claudia. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Shawn Salmon, and as Claudia said, I head up our global sales initiatives across Google Shopping, based out of Mountain View. And I'm super excited to be in Brazil today. This is my first visit. I've spent a lot of time in many, many markets around the world. I ran our APAC operations for product operations for 2 years out of Singapore, but first time to Brazil, so thank you so much for the opportunity to meet today. I know I'll spend time with all of you after the session as well, so really excited about that. What I want to do today is actually take us back to first principles and really look at what users want when they're shopping online. So what I'm going to do today is share some data that we have that's new on what are best practices in mobile commerce, actually. We're going to review some of that, and then I'm also going to share some of the great examples of some of the best partnerships we've developed in shopping since we launched a few years ago, and highlight some product innovations that you can take advantage of to continue to develop your relationship with your customers. The last thing I really want to do is challenge some of you to think about how you can help extend the relationship within your own organization, really lead your teams by building better bridges with IT and with marketing and really at the C-suite as you kind of navigate your teams to an omnichannel future. So with that, let's dive in. Just to start, I love grounding in the fact base, the data about what retail in Brazil looks like today. So these are the headlines that I see in the news that I get really excited about in the morning. You guys are driving one of the most exciting demographic changes in the world. And so you have this amazingly fast rising middle class driving 30% plus growth in e-commerce over the coming years, which is tremendous. And of the roughly 200 million shoppers, consumers, population in Brazil, we know that about half have access to the internet now. And most third-party data suggests that of that 9,600 million, 30 to 40% will make a digital purchase in the coming years. So all of you as retailers are looking at a wave of growth of shoppers looking for your goods, which is the best place to be. Especially interesting and exciting when you're thinking about bringing products to market is that this is happening and starting on mobile. So unlike many other countries, in Brazil, users are skipping generations of hardware and actually beginning their digital experience on a mobile device. And we see this a lot in the shopping world. So what you can see here on the right-hand side is actually our mobile PLA traffic in Brazil, which is growing basically at about 400%, which is absolutely phenomenal. And on the left, you can see some of the categories where most of those volumes are. So for Brazil right now, on mobile PLA, it's mostly in internet and telco as users look for their next device. And then it's in consumer electronics, right? So lots of people, rising middle class, looking for TVs and other electronic goods. In more recent data, so in the recent 6 months or so, there's really high growth now in apparel and also in beauty. So I think that's really fun to think about how is their behavior actually changing over time as the market evolves. As digital marketers, all of you in the room, though, need to understand that your users are not only operating digitally, right? Your users are actually already operating across channels and across devices. So we know from a Google TNS study, which is on the left-hand side, that Brazilian consumers in particular are simultaneous users of TV and smartphone in particular, is about 68%. If you look just at the digital path to purchase, which is what is here on the right-hand side, so this is Brazil retail data on consumer path to purchase, you see that even within just a digital set of channels, users are experiencing multiple touch points, be it email referrals, organic search before they make that final conversion. So your users are going through an extremely and increasingly complex path to purchase. So how do you make sure that you are, as a retailer, catching this wave of growth and actually driving this wave of growth? There's 3 things that I'm going to focus on today that I think all of you in the room should really be investing your energy and time in the coming years. So the first is making sure, as I said, that you're meeting users where they are by making sure you have a great mobile site experience. We know from our data that about 80% of you have a mobile optimized site, which is actually like better than most markets. You guys are well ahead of the curve there. The question becomes, is it high quality? Is it actually responsive design? Is it actually evolving as the web grows? The second is inventory and data quality. So this is really that if you're powering your advertising experience and engaging users with your product inventory, which is where shopping has innovated, are you making sure that all of your data is there and they find all of it when they're looking? Again, our internal data suggests about a quarter of you are missing opportunity here. The last is really around measurement. So as you invest across multiple channels with Google, what are the tools you can really use to make sure you're understanding the full value? So let's dive into each of these. So unfortunately, I'm not sure how many of you have tried to buy something on your mobile phone, but today it really does feel a lot like this. So you all know the situation. If you're in a grocery store or a coffee shop, the first thing you look for is the shortest line. Or if you are in a store and you know what you want, but you can't find it, what's the first thing you do? You bounce, right? So similarly, in the digital world, everything should be focused today on making it as easy as possible for your users to convert. So how do we make sure we do this? Well, Matt and I are both actually going to talk about some recent data that our user experience team developed in an extensive user study. So our experts interviewed basically about 120 users. They did this across 2 cities. This is US data, just to be clear. They did this across 2 cities, and they asked users on their own phones, Android and iOS, to complete a number of tasks across multiple verticals. From that, they developed 25 best practices in mobile site design, and the link to the results is down here on the bottom. We really hope you can actually review this, study it, share it with your own teams. From that, there were really 3 key things for commerce in particular that I'm going to talk about. The first was primacy of mobile site search. So if you have users looking for stuff, your goods, make sure they can search for that on your site. The second is giving them tools to improve usability as they go through the process of finding that and buying it. And the third is actually a feeling. It's giving them a feeling of control over when and how they actually complete the transaction. So let's look into these a little bit more. So the first set of results on mobile commerce really is showing that to drive great commerce experience on mobile, users start with an idea in mind of what they want. And so making sure that there's a very visible open field text box at the top of the page versus an icon or a logo. So users responded best to basically exactly this design. This is Macy's, a US retailer, but this is kind of best practice. Tools, right? So to improve usability on the site, what we found in our data was users would quickly abandon a site if they couldn't actually reduce volumes of results quickly. So filters are a really key way to do this. If you do a search for kids' shoes on Macys.com, you will find 800 results. If you're that user, the first thing you'll do is leave if you can't find a way to get to what you want. So filters are a really critical thing here, and again, users would leave if they couldn't reduce volumes. On desktop, we know sorting works. You can sort by price, you can sort by ratings, you can sort by brands, that helps. But on mobile, it's really about volume management. This last bit is about giving users a sense of control over when they make that purchase. Maybe it's right then and there, maybe it's on another device later in the day. Users want that sense of control. So in our study, what we found is that users would get really annoyed if the retailer forced them to register, especially if it didn't give a clear benefit for why they needed to register. So Macy's, again, does this great job of giving users the ability to check out as a guest, which is a really simple way to keep your users happy. There were many number of recommendations in the study. So again, I think you guys should all go look at that offline. I think for converting and transacting in particular, other great practices include social sharing. So a lot of users want to actually share the product with a friend or share it to themselves and convert later on the desktop. Google's really been focused on helping you with tools to improve transactions. We know users are super frustrated by this right now. So we've been working on a new product in the US for about a year now called Instant Buy. And what Instant Buy does is it links to Google Wallet from a number of mobile sites and apps. So basically users can log into your site with their Google credentials and quickly complete a transaction. And so how this works, I'll give you guys this great example. So Rue La La is a US retailer. They do flash inventory sales. So time limited, hot inventory, super stylish clothes and shoes and everything else. Most of the revenue is now on mobile, so they're like 40 to 50% mobile-based. All their users are on Android, super obvious solution for them. And what they found by implementing Instant Buy was basically a 4x increase in conversion, and then a higher usage of repeat purchasers. The data on this is incredible. So Instant Buy as a product literally reduces the number of clicks to complete a transaction from 25, 26, which is the norm, down to 2. So just think about that idea of reducing friction at the finish line and helping users actually get over the line. So the challenge for all of you, as you think through this, is not just how do you make sure you have a great mobile site, but how do you make sure that your users are able to go all the way through in a seamless fashion to actually complete the transaction. And I'm really excited to meet with some of you today to hear more about what are your challenges doing that so we know what products to build. Once you've got a great mobile site, how do you actually engage those users and make sure that they find what they're looking for? So on the shopping team, which I've been working on for now 4 years, we're really, really focused on making sure users have a great engaging experience. So our users are more constantly connected than ever before. They're on the go, they're working across devices. What we found on the Google.com side is giving them the ability to quickly browse through a large set of listings, which is the swipe browse feature on the left-hand side, has worked really, really well. We're also always refining the Google property, which you can see here on the right, to enable easier browse and then a more mobile-friendly product page, which is this one on the far right. Mobile PLA has grown at a ridiculously fast rate. And the metric that I always look at that's a great indicator is our click-through rate, which is incrementally significantly higher than many other formats. Users really, really love these ads. And the key to the innovation here is the product feed. So online and mobile PLA, and also on the display network with dynamic remarketing, these ads are all powered by inventory from great retailers that you all represent. And what that means is that as a company, we're able to connect those users that are looking for great goods with all of your sites very directly and seamlessly. But the key here, the thing that makes it work, is that data quality. And this is really hard. We acknowledge this is very, very hard. I love this data though. Essentially what we found is a direct relationship between user complaints to Google about shopping and data quality. So this is US data, but in the US, for example, we have a high number of complaints about tax and shipping. A user clicks on an ad, they think it's one price, they get through the whole retailer site, it's another price. Really bad experience, right? In Brazil, we think it's more to do with price and availability, keeping your stock up to date, making sure that what you think you have available is actually available. The bottom line is, continuing to invest here is really, really important if you want to engage users and make sure that they actually convert. This is a concept mock, it's not actually built yet, but I was really excited to show you guys, we have a product team really focused on helping you make sure all your inventory is available. So we've already done this with the all products product target in PLAs, so just giving you an easy way to get all that inventory online. With shopping campaigns, a key design principle was making that even easier. And we're also working on reporting. So there's a big team in Zurich of engineers. They're building out beautiful data visualizations and other tools to help you make sure that you're managing easily to get all that inventory online for users. Another really key principle of shopping campaigns, which most of you guys have upgraded to, is giving you what I think of as a window. So you can see on the left-hand side, if you haven't actually looked at campaign management, we got so much feedback from retailers about how frustrated they were with PLAs, right? My IT team's doing this, I'm in marketing, I'm doing that, I don't know what's going on. The whole orientation of shopping campaigns is meant to give you that tool to view into your own inventory and then have a good conversation with your IT team to make sure that you're optimally set up to promote your goods. Beyond awesome data quality, one of the most exciting things I think about this kind of broader shift to a feeds-based view of ads is the ability to really easily distribute across multiple points on the web. So PLAs, online and mobile, are obviously google.com search side, but with dynamic remarketing, you can take this one step further into the display network. So with dynamic remarketing, same product feed, and it gives you the ability to target users that have had specific site behavior. So Campmore, which is a sporting goods retailer, targeted users that had been to their site, and then they, across the display network, showed ads to those users based on products from those pages. So users on the walking shoes site were seeing ads around the web of shoes and related product categories. Amazingly lower cost per conversion, and again, amazingly high click-through rate improvement because users respond, right? Users respond to inventory-driven ads. This is a crazy new step we're taking. We're very early in the US. But the next phase of this that we're currently exploring is to take the concept one step further with offline inventory. So this is a current product called Local Inventory Ads, and it actually takes store-specific inventory and puts it in the power of the user in their mobile phone. So imagine you're going to an event, you need lip gloss for that event that night, you do a search on your phone, all of a sudden as a user you see, the store that I love has the product at this price, it's on their shelf right now, and it's 400 feet away. I'm just gonna walk straight there and go buy it. So Local Inventory Ads does this. It also gives users directions, product details, so they can have immersive visual experience. And then on the right-hand side here, it gives you the ability to do kind of more of a merchandising approach, related items, etc. We're very early on this, but we've seen some amazing user feedback. It's working quite well, and we're really excited to think about how we could scale this out to many more markets in the coming year. The challenge for you on this, you're all amazing digital marketers. Digital is the wave of the future and the wave of growth. But how do you make sure, given all this, that you're engaging users as users go, which includes online and offline and across devices? So the last thing I want to talk about is measurement. So we know that, and we get the question all the time, how do I make sure that I'm understanding the full value of everything I'm getting from Google, right? We know that taking a user-centric approach here really, really matters. Following users where they are and understanding their path to purchase is really important. So what you see here is on the left, an example of a shopper's path to purchase on search. So imagine that you're looking for a gift for Father's Day maybe, and you do a search for great tech gifts. We know from all of our data that that user is likely to do multiple searches, multiple sessions, maybe multiple devices over potentially a long period of time before they convert. The question to all of you when you think about measurement is, how do you value everything except for that last click? Are you only valuing the last click? And what does that really mean for your overall marketing strategy? On the right, you can see example attribution models. we know from most data that the majority of retailers, this is true worldwide actually, are still reliant on a last click model, which means they're really undervaluing the total number of touch points with the user before they complete a conversion. So we think it's really important, and we're investing a lot of effort and energy building tools to help you actually understand the full value, including search funnels and many more. Beyond search funnels, we've had a huge team working on conversions. So again, users are all over the place. What are the total set of conversions that a user might actually engage with from your ads that you've bought with Google? So we have a thing called estimated total conversions, a product report. And that includes both tracked conversions from online ads and apps, but it also includes a number of new metrics that are estimated, like offline and calls. And what we're hoping to do is really give you that holistic view of what is all of the value you're getting based on your investments with Google, so you can make a smarter decision about budgets and bids and everything else. So just to understand, if you guys are following, how many of you have actually tried cross-device conversions, are aware of it? Some of you. Cross-device conversions? This is common. This is interesting to me. This was true in the US as well. We released this report December, October, I think last year. I'm looking at Matt. I think October last year. And it's not well known yet. But this to me is one of the most powerful things you can use to understand the value you're getting today. So with this report, you are able to identify for a Google logged in user across multiple devices, when did they convert on another device? So you have a shopper in the morning, she clicks on an ad, your ad, on her mobile device. And then later in the day, on the desktop, she may go directly to your site and buy something. Now you know that that was a conversion from the ad that you invested in. So it's really a holistic view of the total user experience. Very, very powerful. So this is a personalized good retailer in the US. They make family photo albums, and they have a user base, mostly moms, that are always on the go. They're running fast. They're on their phones. They're on tablet. They're on desktop. They're everywhere. And they use this report to actually better understand what that user path to purchase was. And what they uncovered was literally 60% conversions. So these were conversions they had not accounted for until they used cross-device, which showed more users on mobile to desktop converting for non-brand terms. In aggregate, they found 15% incremental conversions using the report. So again, thinking about users operating across devices and channels, this report is really, really critical for you to make basically smart investments. And last, I think many of you know, but a really critical part of shopping campaigns is data and insights. And there's some super exciting projects for 2015 we're working on now to give you even more power to understand what are your competitors doing in this space, how can you continue to stay ahead. So in the current version, you can see competitive benchmark CTR, CPC data, but we're also working on ways to give you very, very detailed data down to the SKU, potentially local data at some point, so you can understand for a given geography, what is the volume of interest, what does the competitive relationship look like. So this is really key, and I know all of you are almost migrated. For those of you who are not, we're really excited to work with you to get that completed by September so that you have a really strong holiday season. Challenge for you here, I think, is this is where working within your organization, you need to be leaders and understand what are the metrics beyond digital. What is the holistic view of the user, and how do you help your colleagues across different channels that are being managed have a good view of where you should be investing. So lots of tools that we're providing to help you do that. So really key, simple, I think, 3 things that we are working on and we're excited to partner with you on. First is just review that study and share it with your organization. We think it has some really good tips and will give you a tool for good conversations about mobile site experiences. Personally, I have found the best thing is just go to the site and be a user. Feel how it is to be a user, a shopper of your own experience, and see if it works for you. Can you buy something in less than 30 seconds? Can you find the thing that you know you want? Try it out, it's a fun game. Often very surprising. Second is making sure that you have a good bridge to your IT team and you are really making data quality strong. That is the key to getting value. This is where users are engaged. And last is making sure that you are using these new reporting tools, shopping campaigns, cross-device conversions, funnel analytics. We really want to help you make smarter decisions about your overall investments. So thank you so much, and I think we're on to Matt.